And what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you joining us here on Wednesday night. Very excited to talk a lot of high school football in this show. We're going to mix in some girls flag football as well as we go into week number 1. Week 0, very busy. Week number 1 of the high school football season, even busier with a ton of games all spread out all over the place. So we're going to touch on some of the biggest matchups coming up in week number 1. So if you're watching this video right now, and I know you are, give it a like and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already. And also follow along on social media, Instagram, X, Facebook. Some stuff ends up on social media that's not on the show, and there's a lot of stuff that's on the show that never ends up on social media. So you got to do both, right? All right, here we go into week number 1. Of course, one of the biggest matchups, if not the biggest, is a rematch of last year's CIF Southern Section Division I championship game at the Rose Bowl. It's going to be Centennial taking on Santa Margarita. Now, Centennial was 11-2 last season. Their only 2 losses were to the Eagles. They lost during the regular season in overtime, and then the D1 finals at the Granddaddy, the Rose Bowl, that was 42-7. It was all Santa Margarita in that game. So you've got to think Matt Logan and the Huskies are thinking payback in this one, but that's a good Santa Margarita team. I mean, all the teams in the Trinity League are good, but Centennial coming off a nice win against Servite. What can they do against the defending Division I champs? That's the Ken Sporting Goods must-see game this week. Centennial and Santa Margarita in the D1 rematch from a season ago. And I know Santa Margarita lost some good players, so did Centennial, but they're still 2 of the top teams in the entire state. Now, going back to last season real quick, at the Rose Bowl, remember when they played during the regular season, it was an overtime game, and I think Matt Logan, that was the one game Matt Logan did not coach in, and it was an overtime game, so you thought, hey, the rematch probably going to be just as close, and it wasn't. It was Santa Margarita from the very start as the Eagles raced out to a 28-7 lead at halftime, and again, that final score would be 42-7. So the only 2 losses all season long for Centennial came against Santa Margarita. Now, going into this season, I think technically St. John Bosco was ranked ahead of Centennial and Santa Margarita in those state national rankings, but Bosco lost to Bishop Gorman last week. So who knows? Who is the best team in the Southern Section right now? It might be one of these. It might be Centennial or Santa Margarita. But here we get another game between, maybe this is going to turn into a rivalry like it's been with Centennial in Mater Dei and Centennial against Bosco. So excited about it. And hopefully Centennial has a good showing, unlike the D1 championship game from a season ago. So Centennial and Santa Margarita are Ken's Sporting Goods must-see game here in week number 1. All right, there are some really good matchups up this week. Actually, there's some really good. I looked ahead. I couldn't help myself. I know coaches out there, they appreciate the one game at a time. You play who's in front of you. But I could not help but look ahead to week number 2 next week. And there are some really good matchups in week number 2. But we got some good ones in week number 1 as well. Let's take a look at just some of those here in our Inland Sports Show coverage area. Roosevelt against Summit. I think that's going to be one of the... So Roosevelt versus Summit and Vista Del Lago versus Hillcrest. I think those are 2 of the better games. Matchups featuring, teams in our area that were some of the better teams in our area. I think those are going to be great games. We got San Jacinto versus King. The Jack coming off that big win against Beaumont. And King is good. How good are they? We're going to find out against the Tigers. Elsinore against Temecula Valley. That's a rivalry game. Both teams coming off big wins in week 0. Temecula Valley against Liberty. Elsinore had a blowout win against Patriot. Kind of surprised by that one. Aquinas on a true road trip going up to Idaho to take on Bishop Kelly. Bishop Kelly is a state champion in Idaho from last season. So we'll see how the Falcons do up there. We got a Riverside rivalry game. Poly versus North. North turning things around. That might be a close game. And Murrieta Mesa taking on Etiwanda. Etiwanda big win against Cajon in week 0. And Murrieta Mesa losing in the final minute against Newport Harbor on the road. So the Rams almost had a victory against Newport Harbor, which had been a signature victory for them this season. So those are some of the big matchups here in week number 1 for the teams on our Inland Sports Show coverage area. Another big game is Citrus Valley playing its season opener here in week 1 as they will be at home against Los Osos. We caught up with head coach Kurt Bruich and one of his lead assistants, a guy goes by the name of Dick Bruich. Yes, the legendary Dick Bruich, helping out his son Kurt on the offensive line this season. And he's a full-time coach. Dick Bruich is all in this season with the Blackhawks, as you're about to hear, even riding on the big yellow bus with the team. So let's hear from Kurt Bruich, Dick Bruich, and we're going to get to some of the star offensive linemen for Citrus Valley because the Blackhawks feel like if you had to single out an area or some players on this year's team, where's the strength on Citrus Valley? They feel like you might be up front, the big fellas, the offensive line. So without further ado, let's take you out to the Grove, Citrus Valley High School. Check in with head coach Kurt Bruich and Dick Bruich.
Inland Sports.
Okay, so we're out here at Citrus Valley High School. They just wrapped up practice. We got head coach Kurt Bruich and one of his top assistants, I guess, the legendary Dick Bruich. And Coach, you were telling me your dad is on staff full time, like he's part of the crew, right?
He's definitely part of the crew. He's all in. He rode the bus with me to the scrimmage. It was me and him on the bus. So, it's a good time.
Of course, you play to win the game, right? But you're grooming young men, you're building camaraderie, you're hanging out with your dad. There's so many other things too. How much fun are you having this season?
A blast. The kids are great. I love the coaching staff. They're a ton of fun too. And when you put that combination together, I love getting up and getting here every day.
Well, Coach Bruich over here at the end as well. Coach, obviously you're still around the game. You still love it. Why do you keep coming back? Other than Kurt, what do you love about all this?
I love the camaraderie, especially with the coaches. And I needed some change in my life, and this has been a big help for me.
Did you miss riding those yellow buses around everywhere?
I love the bus because I think that makes you part of the team.
Yeah.
The bus rides are as big a part of playing the game as anything. Last year I did this and drove myself, thought I was cool. It was stupid.
Well, Coach, I know you're doing offensive line. You're helping out with the O-line. And if you ask me, at least, and I'm no football coach, but the success of a team, a lot of it is predicated on how that offensive line is doing. So what do you think about the Blackhawks O-line right now?
I think they're technicians. They're learning technique, and they believe in technique, and we're getting better. We got ways to go. We're not good, but we're getting better. We have a chance to be as good offensive line as I've ever coached.
So what you saw in the scrimmage against Roland, you were like, okay, we got something here. We're going to be okay.
Yeah, well, I think we saw that last spring. I think we saw it at the end of last year. The last 3 games we played last year, we were pretty good, but the record don't show it, so that means we were bad.
Well, Coach, who was it? One of the famous football coaches, maybe it was Bill Parcells, that said, you are what your record is, right? I think Absolutely. It was something like that. So how important is it that you guys get back to the playoffs, you can start stacking some wins, and maybe for this team build some confidence before you even hit CBL play? I think
also game 1 is pivotal. I think our kids have confidence coming out of the scrimmage against Roland, and if we can turn that into another successful performance, and our kids will start to gain confidence. And as I say all the time, a confident team is a dangerous team. Yeah. If you get on a roll, you can play with anybody.
All right, I don't want to give away all your secrets, but Los Osos, they already have 1 game under their belt. They played in week 0. So what do you think are the keys to the matchup against them for you guys if you're going to get a win?
Well, first of all, we have tape on them, but we believe that between your first and second game is when you make the most improvement. So we expect Los Osos to be much improved. And that's how we're going into the game. We're telling our kids, I see what you see what the score was, but it's not indicative of who you're playing. And we have our home opener. It's going to be crowded. And I think, like I said, our student body will get behind us if we're winning, and it can change the environment in the school. We've had it happen so many times, but in the last couple of years, we haven't been as fortunate. So the goal is to gain confidence, play well, get the school behind us, and sky's the limit at that point.
All right, so obviously the offensive line is well coached. They're in good hands. But what else do you like about this year's version of the Citrus Valley Blackhawks?
I like our effort. We play with tremendous effort. We are tough. We're physical. And we have guys who can score. And that's really nice. When a guy can turn a broken play into a touchdown, that's nice, and when you're not having to drive 10 plays every time to get in the end zone, when you can do it 1 or 2, those are good things. And defensively, like I said, we got guys who hit. We're physical. So, what else can you ask for? Good defense and an offense that can score. That's a good recipe.
Yeah, when you look at the Citrus Belt League, it looks pretty wide open, for those 3 playoff spots to get into the postseason. So when you look at the season as a whole, what do you think is the most important thing that your football team has to do to be successful, to be in the hunt for, a playoff spot at the end of the regular season?
I just think they need to play out the way they're coached, and again, keep their edge, keep their confidence. When you start stacking losses, it makes it hard to when one thing goes bad in a game. It snowballs. So, with that being said, I know what we have to do. We just got to compete. We got to do as we're told, or do as we're coached, and all the rest will fall in place.
All right, finally, I wanted to go back to your dad for this one. Dick, do you guys talk a lot of football away from the field? Or, you're such a big football family, you try to shut it down and just find out, how are the girls doing? How's school going? How's their grades? What's going on?
That's a good question. We probably don't talk as much football as everybody thinks we would. Mm-hmm. Now football season we'll talk more because we're talking specifics of his ideas and my ideas, and his ideas always win.
But as they should. You're the head coach. He's the head coach.
But they should. But we talk about, he's got a grandpa living with me, 102 years old. So we talk about what's going on with him and the fam and all that stuff too. Yes.
Family first, right?
Absolutely.
Well, your O-line guys, we're going to hear from them in just a moment. They said it feels more like a family out here as opposed to just seeing teammates during the practice field. Is that one of those things that you can't really coach? Maybe you can build that in your culture, but to battle for that guy next to you and actually feel like, hey, that is a family member over there.
Yeah, well, these seniors have been together for 4 years. When they were freshmen, they won league. They won the CBL. They finished undefeated in league, and then they stayed together. Where a lot of guys are transferring out, this group stayed together and they stayed tight. And when they were sophomores, they played and they took their lumps, and when they're juniors, they played and they took their lumps, and now it's their turn to give the lumps. So and then their improvement between their junior and senior year was just amazing. It was phenomenal. So like I said, we're ready to go. We're definitely ready to go.
All right, it's going to be Citrus Valley versus Los Osos in week number 1. That is Dick Bruich, head coach Kurt Bruich here at Citrus Valley.
Inland Sports.
All right, good stuff out there at Citrus Valley. Always love talking to Kurt and Dick Bruich, talking football, talking about the team, talking about the season, and hopefully CV can turn things around this year and get back to the postseason, as you just heard. Now, the Blackhawks feel like they're going to have a strong offensive line. We know they're well coached, right, with Dick Bruich helping out on the O-line. We talked with 3 of their starters on the O-line, Garrison Day, Robert Murguia, Jacob Anaya, talking about the offensive line and how their success will determine the success of the team. We all know if you can win the trenches, right? If you can win up front, you're going to give your team a chance to win. So if they can just do their job up front on the O-line, they feel like they're going to win some games this year. Here are the Citrus Valley O-linemen on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
What I like about the offensive line is that I feel like we all have really good chemistry, and I think because we're both playing both ways of the ball that we just bond really well. It being our first game, I think to be successful, we just have to play hard, and we have to know our assignments and our goals and just be able to execute that. I think we're capable of accomplishing anything we want to. I think we're a good team this year, and I think we're going to do pretty well.
I think just all of us working, we look like a well-machined unit out there, and everything just looks good out there. Whether somebody messes up and then we pick it up for them, or something bad happens and then we all rally as a team and we fix it. And we just look really well out there. We play really well, and we look like a family out there rather than a team. If we are doing our jobs, we can rely on our skilled guys to go out there and do what they do best, make a guy miss, run somebody over. But without us, it's very hard for them to do that. So just as long as we do our jobs, do it well, I know I can trust my guys back there, and they can do their jobs.
What impresses me is how hard we play and how hard we play for each other. I think we all have good chemistry with each other. We all work together, try to keep pushing each other to our limits and stuff, and we just keep going from there. I'd say the most important thing we have to do is play strong, start off strong, and play all 4 quarters strong. We can't let off the brakes. We can't let up our energy. We just have to keep dominating, stay physical, and just be tough the whole game.
Inland Sports.
All right, that's Citrus Valley, everybody. We're going to take our first quick commercial break of the night. When we come back, we got more high school football. We still got to get to our Paulson Orthodontics top 25 rankings. That's going to be a lot of fun, and some girls flag football action as well. So we'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. Planning your next magical family vacation? Concierge Tara can help. Visit her website, crazyimagination.travel.com/Tara Fernandez. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. My name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning into the show tonight. A lot of high school football in this one. Right now, we want to check in with Colton High School quarterback Koa Regalado, one of the top QBs in the area, hands down, no doubt about it. Finally, a senior and coming off a big win in Week 0 against Arroyo Valley, 27-0. Now, can the Yellow Jackets keep it going? They got Eisenhower coming up this week, and Koa Regalado is going to, if they win, he's going to be a big reason why. As he goes, so will the team, one of the top QBs in the Inland Empire. So let's take you out to Hub City. Check in with Koa Regalado here on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
No, yeah, it's definitely crazy. It's bittersweet. It's been an awesome 4 years, and it's felt like forever. I feel like I've been here for the longest time, and 4 years have felt like the longest 4 years of my life, but also the shortest in the same weird way. But I'm super excited for this chapter to come to an end and flip on to the next one, and obviously I hope it ends in the best possible way. Every story wants a good ending, so I no matter how it ends, I know it's meant to end that way. So but I mean, these boys have been putting in an incredible amount of work, and I'm so excited for not just for my chapter end, but this class and this year of Colton football to actually, just to get even started first. So it's going to have an amazing end, and I'm so excited for it. And this year is going to be special. I can feel it. It's a tight group of boys.
Koa, I hate to even talk about the end because you still have basically your whole senior season still in front of you. But what do you think you'll miss the most about high school football? Take me behind the scenes. Like what makes it fun and enjoyable to put on that Yellow Jackets uniform or playing at that school or being around your teammates? Like, what do you think you'll miss the most?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the fact, what's most around me is that I stayed home, and that's what gets talked about the most, on stuff like this, and that's what has made it the most enjoyable experience for me. Not just on our football program, but here, home, the community. People coming to all the games and rallying behind us in every possible way, and not even like the admin, the teachers, the students here, the student body. They all, rally around this football program. So I'll really miss just the community itself. But I mean, this team itself, I mean, it's unlike any other, and it starts with the coaching staff. I'll never have a staff like this again. So I'm so close with all of them, and they're so close with each other, and it's really just a big family. And especially with how football is, I love the way. I love football, obviously, but it gets to be more of a business. The higher you get. So I'm really gonna miss still being just with boys that are still no one's playing for money or anything like that, and they're just out here playing a kid's game still. So I'll definitely miss that more. But just honestly, Colton itself, I mean, you've probably heard it on a whole bunch of different interviews, but it's the best. So I'll never leave the city, but leaving Colton football will definitely be pretty sad.
Well, I'll say this, Koa. We post, like highlight clips on social media that we kind of, we put it on social media to kind of hype up the shows. And when we put Colton stuff on social media, it always blows up. I'm not trying to throw other schools under the bus, but we put Colton out there, man, and people just love it. It gets thousands and thousands of views. I mean, you must feel the love, right? People love Colton football.
No, yeah, especially just how we've built it up these last 4 years, and how fun it is to watch. I mean, if you've seen a game, it's pretty fun to watch. I mean, you don't expect to come to a D8, 9, 10, whatever game, and expect to see people throwing for 300 yards and routes and actual concepts that are run at the college level, and an offensive scheme that moves fast, but it's hard for defenses to pick up because, like I said, it's a college level offense that we were able to move, and obviously with some tweaks because of where we're at, and we have to make it manageable for everybody to run. But it's really impressive to watch, and the boys put in work throughout the whole year. With every team, 99% of what you do is behind the scenes, and the 2.5 hours that are put out on Friday and Thursday are what's seen, and that's just the 1%. So the 99% of what we do here is what makes the games. And if you've ever come to one, it's a blast. If you haven't, I really recommend it. It's honestly the best. It's the best. The offense we run and the energy that we play at. And like I said, the community will come out here and make an enjoyable experience for you. It's always loud, no matter what. A Thursday, Friday. Last Thursday was rocking in here. So, yeah, we were pretty excited about that.
All right, let me go back to last Thursday, that first game of the year. I want you to talk about your offense a little bit. De La Rosa, James. I mean, you've got some guys at receiver that you can get the ball to, and they're going to make some plays. So how do you feel about the offense right now?
No, yeah, I think a lot of people were saying that this year was going to be a little bit of a down year for us because we lost our two big contributors, which is true. But we haven't taken a step back, and people stepped up. And even I know you guys have covered John Kitos a little bit and know about him, and even he had to be out for the game. So we were missing some pretty big guys, and those guys stepped up, like you said. Jacob being our senior, and he's a captain this year, so he's more of a defensive player, but we don't have as much depth here as other programs do. So people need to step up and play receiver, and he did well. He did really well, and he's having a good year at it. And James is a freshman. He's honestly more of a second string guy, and like I said, with John coming out, he had to go in and make a play, and he did. It's exactly what he did. 3 receptions for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns is impressive for your first start. So, and we had a lot of first starters that game. Honestly, our whole starting 4 receivers were the first year starter. We had Julian Ambrose at the outside. Jacob, even though he's a senior, that was also his first game starting receiver. And on the left side, we had a sophomore group, Reese and James. So we have a really young team, and I'm really proud of them for how they stepped up, and they'll continue to step up, and you'll continue to hear the young names throughout the year. And they're great. They run out there and run the system, and they're unselfish. But definitely can't wait for John to come back, and the highlights will start flooding in from him. He's awesome.
All right, Koa, let me ask you, okay, so you guys had a big win against Arroyo Valley week 0. Now you get Eisenhower in week 1. What did you guys do well in that first game that you feel like, all right, kind of built some confidence, a little bit of momentum now going forward?
To be honest, it was nice to win. As weird as this sounds, it was nice to win an ugly game. We won 27-0. We didn't get the ball a lot. Arroyo Valley runs double wing, so that's a clock chewer. Mm-hmm. And we were expecting it, and we knew as an offense that we were going to have to hit on most of our opportunities. We were hoping for all. Obviously, it doesn't happen all the time. We missed a few times, so a little bit disappointed about that. But we came out, and like I said, the young guys stepped up and did their job, and that created an ugly win, and we were able to win that game and at least do the job enough. So that was pretty exciting. And honestly, the highlight of the week was the defense. I know you cover our scores at least every single game. So, sorry, school's just got out. I'm going to move a little bit for you. But, yeah, I know you cover a lot of our scores, and they're usually really high scoring. So it was good for our defense, to be able to put up a game and a 27-0 score, a real football score, was really nice to see. I'm really excited for our defense to, continue and get better week by week.
All right, finally, Koa. I mean, you kind of mentioned you're a senior. You want to go out on top. You want to go out with a bang. What do you feel like are the realistic goals for this Yellow Jackets team this season?
Honestly, our goal is always to win a CIF championship and add it to the banners. But I think our personal goals is to go, 1-0 every week, and that's kind of what we're focusing on. We're a young team, and obviously every team wants to say that they want to go 1-0 every week. But we really have to rally behind that. We're young and we don't have a lot of depth, so we got to make sure that we reset every week, and we're locked in every week, and everybody, not just a few players, are locked in every week, just so that we're able to go out there and execute a new game plan with the little amount of guys that we have. But the guys that we do have are awesome, and everybody contributes, and that's why we're able to be successful over here. So go 1-0 every week, and I'm super excited. This week obviously has been there's a lot of buzz around the game, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of media, and it's going to live up to it. So I'm really excited. It's been marked on both of these teams' calendars for the year since last year. So it's going to be a fun one. I have no words for it, honestly. I think everything buzzing around it speaks for itself, and the game and the highlights itself will, speak for it. But I can't wait for it. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, there's plenty of storylines, right, with Colton and Eisenhower getting together. So,
yeah, it'll be a fun one, definitely. We'll see. We'll see we'll see how it goes and how it plays out. But no matter what, there'll be highlights on both sides. And, like I said in past interviews, nobody can handle when we start throwing it. So I'm excited to go out there and see what they throw at me. And then, I'll dissect it up and we'll start scoring some touchdowns.
All right, Koa, appreciate the time, man. Good luck this week and good luck this season.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Inland Sports.
All right, good stuff, Koa. We appreciate the time. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we have our Paulson Orthodontics Top 25 poll. We have the real poll, which we made with human input, and we also have the AI poll to see how we contrast and how different they are. And they're different this week, I'll tell you that. We'll also talk some girls flag football. So we'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. Planning your next magical family vacation? Concierge Tara can help. Visit her website, crazyimaginationtravel.com/Tara Fernandez. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. I'm Pep Fernandez, and right now we want to go to the Paulson Orthodontics Top 25 poll, where each and every week we rank the top 25 teams in the Inland Sports Show coverage area. This is the second week we've done this. We had the preseason poll, and now we have the rankings after week 0, our first round of games. And I don't know if we're going to continue this throughout the entire season, but it's been kind of fun for the first couple of weeks of doing the real poll, right? The real rankings based on the way we see it. And then also what AI says, what chat says, what Copilot says, and we let AI come up with their top 25 poll based on the information they gather on the internet. So With all that said, let's go to the real man-made top 25 poll brought to you by Paulson Orthodontics. So if you're an athlete out there or the parents, because they have the money, right, of course, Paulson Orthodontics can help you with braces or Invisalign as well. Let's go. Here they are, the top 25 after week 0. No change at the top with Centennial and Norco, but then a little bit of shuffling after that. Rancho Cucamonga climbs up to number 3 after winning a game against Murrieta Valley, 28-14. Chaparral, tough loss. I know they're shorthanded, not healthy right now. Tough loss against Mission Viejo. They drop a little bit. San Jacinto, the Jack. They go up after beating rival Beaumont 28-25. There's the Cougs right after San Jacinto, coming in at number 7, followed by Aquinas, tough road loss at Damien last week. Great Oak, huge win against Vista Murrieta, and Etiwanda, huge win against Cajon. So they shoot into the top 10. I mean, you can't keep them outside the top 10 with wins like that against Cajon and Vista Murrieta. So, and those were both road games, too, for the Wolfpack and the Eagles. Cajon is in at number 11 after that loss to Etiwanda, followed by Orange Vista, Summit. Murrieta Mesa, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, tough loss on the road against Newport Harbor. The Sailors scored a game-winning touchdown with about a minute to play. King over Ramona, they're at number 15. They come off a win against rival Ram High, Vista del Lago, and Hillcrest. They're going to go head-to-head. So that's a great game, number 16 versus number 17 this week. Vista Murrieta, I still got faith in the Broncos, but that was a tough loss against Great Oak. Elsinore hammered Patriot. They shoot up to number 19. Roosevelt comes in at number 20 after losing to Norco in week 0. Moreno Valley at 21. Temecula Valley, they pop into the top 25 after beating Liberty, who is at 23. Valley View is back in the top 25, as they should be. And Norte Vista, tough loss against Trabuco Hills in week 0. They're going to hang on to that 25th spot. I will say, if we had a bubble team, it would probably be the Rancho Verde High School. Maybe we should start doing bubble teams. We've kind of done it off and on the last several years, but off the top of my head, if a bubble team would be Rancho Verde High School, looking to crack the top 25 right now. So that was the real man-made top 25 poll brought to you by Paulson Orthodontics. Here is the AI poll, just for fun, just to see what AI would say. They also had Centennial, Norco, and Rancho Cucamonga in the top 3. So actually us and AI agreed. After that, it's a little messy. They put Great Oak all the way up at number 4. They put a lot of value on that big win against Vista Murrieta. So they got Great Oak all the way up at number 4, followed by San Jacinto, Etiwanda, Murrieta Valley. They got Murrieta Mesa coming in at number 8, despite losing to Newport Harbor. They got the Rams at 8, followed by Chaparral and Vista Murrieta. So they put a lot of value on Great Oak beating Vista Murrieta to put Great Oak at number 4. And Vista Murrieta didn't slide that far after losing to Great Oak. Beaumont losing to San Jacinto. They check in at 11, followed by Summit, Orange Vista, King, Hillcrest. Aquinas and Cajon, actually, when you look at the rankings, probably fell the most. Aquinas again losing to Damien, Cajon against Etiwanda. Both of them tumbled to number 16 and 17, according to AI, of course. Remember, Moval, Vista del Lago, Temecula Valley, Valley View, Elsinore, Liberty, Norte Vista, and Riverside Poly. So we, the men, right, the human beings, we did not have Riverside Poly in our top 25 after losing in the first week of the season to Hillcrest. But they kept Poly in the top 25. Maybe Poly should be in the top 25, but that's how AI sees it. And like I said, I feel like Rancho Verde's a bubble team if we did do bubble teams. So, anyways, for what it's worth, there's the Paulson Orthodontics top 25 poll, man-made, and also the AI version. And to catch all of your high school football, another busy week, and here's where you can watch it and check it out. Riverside TV, the game of the week, Ramona at Arlington on Friday night. And, of course, the Friday night pep rally on Riverside TV. Myself and Jeff Gorham with all the scores and highlights and action coming up 11 p.m. live from the Riverside TV studio. And then on Saturday at noon, You've got Sports Weekly Live on IEMG. Same deal. So Riverside TV, obviously the Riverside schools. IEMG, the San Bernardino schools. So IEMG Saturday at noon on the Inland Empire Media Group YouTube channel. And on Teen Vision, they're going to have their first game of the season, and it's going to be A.B. Miller on the road taking on Citrus Hill. So check out Teen Vision's maiden voyage this season live on Thursday night football on Teen Vision. So shout out to Johnny Nunez and his crew. Always do such a good job out there in the Val Verde School District, covering Citrus Hill, Rancho Verde, and Orange Vista. And finally, let's talk some girls flag football as well. We got some good highlights this week on the Riverside TV, Riverside Sports Update with Ramona and Yucaipa, but I hope you like defense. Here's some of the action from that game, T-Birds and Rams, and it was low scoring in this one with a lot of interceptions. Let's get things going. It's going to be Yucaipa's number 7, Elizabeth Golick, the interception, and then Yucaipa QB Jenny Velasquez dumps it off to number 24, Brianna Hawkins, for the big gain as Yucaipa is on offense. Velasquez to Hawkins for the touchdown. Remember that because there was not many touchdowns in the game. In fact, that was the only one. 7-zip Thunderbirds at that point. And then Alexa Romero, the INT for Yucaipa High School. Now later, Ramona driving again, but Kelsey Downer, the huge INT in the red zone to turn away the Rams. Ram High looking for a big defensive play. Oh, there it is. It's Stacy Martinez Avila, the sack, nearly a safety right near the goal line. But Yucaipa, every time Ramona had the ball, seemed to come up with an interception. Eden Hardenbrook, the interception there. Ramona would pay them back a little bit with Mia Muratet, the INT for Ram High, to get the football back. But Ram High sends the offense back out on the field, and Yucaipa just continued to pick them off. Alexa Romero coming up with another interception. The Thunderbirds with 7 interceptions in this game, 6 of them in the first half, as Yucaipa fights off Ramona. 7-0, the final score in this one. Again, we'll be talking about this game on the Riverside Sports Update on Riverside TV as well. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. We appreciate you tuning in here live and amplified on Wednesday night. Make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And if you're a local business and you're a local organization and you love local sports, you love positive sports stories, you can help us share those positive sports stories here in the IE by promoting your business or organization on the show. Just send us an email, inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.